Well, a bit of a sleepy day, as you can see today. Leaving the Meadows, it was a beautiful day of racing, except for the racing. And, you know, I forget. I like Widespread Panic. I always have, and I think he's going to become a nice horse. But he is, I forgot, when we had White Tiger, he was a run away at 2 also.
Right.
But he wore a wire snake cord.
Yeah.
It felt like since he was a fetus. He just always had it on. I forget we had another horse right after that was a hot bugger too. They're nice horses, but like this horse, he'll be going along in the post parade. He'll be going along 2 fingers. You think, oh, he's nice, and then you just feel him clamp down on the bit, and it's literally like an alligator's got it. There's nothing you can do. He had me played out today, so we warmed him up. I went to warm up Widespread Panic. He run all over the track, acting up, wouldn't trot the straightaways properly. We didn't put a tight martingale on him. I didn't want to put it on him because I knew he would fight. I thought he would fight. And I went out and I warmed him up, and he wasn't bad. Well, by the time I went to go in the post parade, that dog chain had rubbed his gums, rubbed his lips, and they were sore. And I'm thinking to myself, he's going to throw himself. And sometimes even I forget why exactly we had the dog chain on him. I know why we needed it on him, but I'm thinking, maybe without the dog chain, you know, he's raced so well. Aside from that break last week, he's raced so well in the qualifier in his 2 races that, you know, maybe I can float him away and he'll just relax. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. He was almost loose in the post parade. Because this is what he'll do. He'll jog along and you'll be like, oh, finally, this horse is starting to behave. And it's literally like a vice grip. You can feel him start to clamp down a bit. You can feel it in the lines. And then he'll kind of root his head, and as soon as you grab a hold of him, game on. He's off to the races, as they say. He wasn't too bad in the post parade, but when I turned him to come back towards the gate, I was in trouble with him. And he had me stretched out. Now, it's too late for me to go back to the paddock and say, put the dog chain on him. Right. The gate is coming into position. That ship has sailed. So I'm thinking to myself, geez, will you just behave? Now, the one thing he did do that I was happy with, I was coming up the gate and I was played out. There was no more pull left of me. He'd won. But as we got close to the gate, he dropped the bit. And I'm thinking, oh, thank God, because if I had hit the gate with him and run, I would have lost my mind. They say go, and he goes out okay. As we get to the first turn, you know, everybody's jostling or making noise in behind him. As he gets to the first turn, he starts to hook on. There's nothing I can do. Literally, Hulk Hogan couldn't have rated him. We went 28-1. We're in front of the grandstand. I'm trying to get him backed up, and he's just fighting with me. Now he's just angry, and I said, all right, you know what? I don't care if you go half in 55 seconds, you are not going to qualify next week. I'm not coming here on Tuesday to qualify you. So we get over there like 57-1. I'm thinking, that's not a bad half for him. You know, he's already won in 57, first over. If he trots half in 59 and wins in 56, who's going to say anything? But I'm played out, and I can feel him start to soften. I kick the earplugs out. I don't know what's left in behind me, but I'm at a soap. I know that. 126-2. I know I'm trotting him 57 in the piece right now. That's it. I can tell. We come out of the last turn. I look like 1, 2, 3. Yep, I'm going to be 4th. And he flattened down the lane. Now, we scoped him after. There was a little bit of blood there. 3 out of 10, which I hate when they do that. I don't know why the vets do that here. I say it all the time, but it's so frustrating. It's 1.5 out of 5. Why do we need to go to 10s? Anyway, every vet does it too. It's not just here. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. 3 out of 10. That's enough blood to put him on Lasix. I know how the blood got there. Between acting up in the warm-up, getting really hot, and plus it's easier to bleed sometimes when you get them shut off. When you grab a hold of them hard. Now, right. There was no mention of any bruising or any issue with his palate, so there's no evidence to prove that I would have shut him off. But man, I fought with him for quite a while. Between the time we went on the track and the time we pulled up after the race, there was at least 2 or 3 fights that went on. And that could have caused the bleeding. But at the end of the day, I just don't see this guy settling for a little bit. I don't see him settling down. And for a horse that's a little bit warm, might be best to be put him on Lasix. Yeah. This would be the type of horse where you could almost talk me out of putting him on it, but as I said to Tim after, I said, well, 1, I don't see him cooling down anytime soon, and the Lasix may help him cool down a little bit also, but man, I said the next time, I say, you know what, let's just try him with the dog chain today. I want you to write down today's date and remind me of what he was like today, because that is something I don't want to. It took me all the way to the time the filly went on the track for my arms just to settle down. Yeah. He had me stretched out something fierce. So I told him, I said, yeah, next time I have the bright idea that I'm going to race him at St. Croix, just remind me of today's date, because that will never happen again without that dog chain on. Man. Whew. So widespread panic, a number of things going on. One, yes, we'll put him on Lasix. Two, he'll always wear that dog chain from now on. And three, this was like 4 or 5 weeks of hard going in a row. I told him, let's just let him relax. One, let his lips cool down, like the corners of his mouth cool down from where the chain was kind of bothering him a little bit. Two, he's gone hard for almost 5 weeks in a row now, which might help him a little bit more also. So I told him, I said, we actually, depending on what Jacob finds out, he may go to Schaefer Farms now. It's just, I'll tell everybody about that in a second. He may go out there for a few days just to let him get out on the grass. Yeah. So the horse I raced 3 weeks ago is not the horse that raced today. I don't know why he was so agitated in the warm-up. I don't know. I know why he's always pulled like this, so this isn't shocking. But the agitation of the warm-up, I didn't quite understand. Is there something bothering him? Does he need a little vet work done? I remember the muscle massives that we had in the past. Their knees bothered them from time to time. That whole muscle mass line actually did, right? Right. So they're renowned for it. The muscle masses themselves, knees bother them all the time. And I'm not the vet, so I'm not going to say this is what needs done. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is have him vetted out, have him looked at, get him out to the grass for 3 days, put him on Lasix, clean him up, and then come back in 2 weeks with him. I think that's probably best. Sure. You know, you can train him maybe 6 days out, just give him a little bit of ACE, just to let him cool out. You don't want him hot and fired up. Yeah. Train him on a little bit of ACE 5-6 days out, and I think we'll be fine. Not his best work today, not his worst work overall, but not his best work today for sure. And you know what? All said and done, we didn't break rule number 1. Right. Keep him trotting. So he's not on the list. He will be on the Lasix list, and I think it was definitely mentally a step backwards for him today, but it just reaffirmed why we wear the equipment on him we do, and that won't happen again. So widespread panic will miss next week, but I suspect he'll be back with a vengeance the week after, and hopefully a good vengeance, not a bad vengeance. Now, insider trading. You know, I got a message from my partner, my buddy Marco, on the filly, and everything he said was right. Just not the same horse she was last year. So here's the rare issue we have with insider trading. Not a stake filly as of right now. Could she get there? Maybe. But you're already 2 stake races in, so it's a moot point. It doesn't really matter. There's a lot left on the board for this filly, stake-wise, outside of Pennsylvania. But again, she has to be way better than she is right now. Did I find her more comfortable today? Yes. Did I find her more effective today? No. No. And I was joking with Jacob when he called me, but not really. When we started into the backstretch, we got jammed up and then they took off, right? They did a cheap second quarter and then took off. And she didn't trot with them. It took me all the way to the last turn to catch up. And in that time frame, from the half to the 3/4 pole, I was thinking to myself, it's May 30th. I wonder how quick he could get her in full. And I wonder if there was any viable commercial breedings out there. This would be an opportunity to get her in full and sell her in full. And she's worth a ton of money in full. This is JL Cruz's sister by Green Shoe. She's a good-looking mare, too. She's worth quite a bit of money, and I think the dollar amount that Jacob had put out was probably close, and he knew it might even be low, which puts us in a really good situation. That exit strategy was always there from this filly. That's why we bought her, right? 2-year-old filly with a stake mark, winning 56, raced in the Sire Stakes. I believe she won the Buckeye. I know she won a Buckeye, and was a pretty solid stakes competitor at 2. Just didn't come back at 3. It's not a rare story. It happens all the time. But the difference is we do have a pretty strong exit strategy. I wish this was 4 weeks ago and not today. But I guess the other side of that, as I said to Jacob, it's a win-win because if we spend the next 3-4 weeks trying to get her in full, and Tim is about to text me, I'm sure, and tell me there was just a trickle of blood and some mucus in the filly today. She bled a little bit more 2 weeks ago. We gave her a week off. This month, if we spend this month trying to breed her, that's also a month we can work on her lungs, get her cooled down, get her comfortable, get her to put a little bit more weight on also. She's not thin, but certainly not fat. A lot of good can come from giving her the 3 weeks off, and at the end of that 3 weeks, if we're left with a pregnancy, we're perfect. If we're not, then we still did right by the filly by giving her 3 weeks off. So that is my take on insider trading. I wish she had been out 1-56 today, and we were all happy. That didn't happen. So what do we do next? To me, as I try to think about it and talk it all out, this is actually a very viable path forward. Take the next 3-4 weeks to try and get her in full. If she's in full, great. We sell her in full at sometime between now and Harrisburg. And I know what she's worth. I'm sure my partners are going to call, text, and ask me and email me. I get a pretty good idea what she's worth in full. And it would likely be, depending on the stallion and the environment, likely be close to 6 figures, I would think. Yes. Not too far off.
Yeah.
Which she's not worth right now as a racehorse. And that is the crux of it. That's the problem, is that I can win the non-worse-than-2 condition claimer with her in Northfield. She's worth more than that. So she's worth more than that in full. It's a broodmare, she's worth way more. Anybody out there with any sort of breeding sense would scoop her up right away. So I guess there's the starting point. She would go in for a claiming price of $38,500 US. And I know she's worth more than that. So that's the plan with insider trading. Obviously, we had some horses behind the gate today. You didn't get to see any of them go behind the gate today.
No, I was busy jogging.
Yeah. So we didn't get to, Dave didn't get to see any of them go behind the gate today, but we had 4 of them out on the gate. We picked 4 horses that we thought would be a little squirrely. 4 prime suspects to act up, and all 4 of them were perfect. So that gives us a pretty good idea of how the rest of them will be. Yeah. Obviously, every horse is different, but if you were to say, okay, I need 4 to put on the gate today that are going to need some gate work, those were the 4. Gorgeous Package, perfect. LT Troubadour, perfect. Memento Mori, perfect. Who was the 4th one? Joey, Dancing in My Socks, perfect. All 4 of those horses have been spooky from time to time, and all 4 of those horses were perfect today. So that was a good start. I schooled 3-point Blue Chip at Northfield. Traveled well. I forgot how bad he was by himself training. Frustrating. He's always been a frustrating bugger. It came flooding back to me. So we started into the backstretch. He started slowing up. I said, you son of a... I just know the horse. But that's how he is. If you had left and sit in the 2-hole, I'm sure he'd trot in 53 right now. So I don't know where his first start's going to be. It could be over here. He does have money made, he's got a lot of money made last 4. His last 2 were no good, but the 2 before that was like 10 grand. But he fits an hours of 2, but not more than 4 next Friday at the Meadows. So that's likely where he is going to head his next start. We'll see how that plays out. But I was happy with the way he looked and the way he felt. Aside from the pulling up thing, he's done that since he was a baby. So happy in that regard. So a bit of a mixed bag today. I'm very, very happy with the professionalism shown by the babies. I say that a lot, so I shouldn't be surprised, but they were very good today. Happy with what I saw from the mechanics of 3-point Blue Chip. Disappointed with his overall attitude, but that's him in a nutshell. Always has been him. And then today, Widespread Panic. Never, ever, ever try to race him without a dog chain again. Give him a week off. Get his mouth cleaned up a little bit. It's not bad. It's just a little raw. Get his mouth cleaned up a little bit. Let him relax. Put him on Lasix, and away we go next time out. So that's the plan. See that guy? That's interference right there.
That is.
The fella right there. The fella, and I'm not going to put an objection in, but most definitely the Frontier interfered with me right there. Step back. Anyway, that's it for today in a nutshell. We do have some horses going tonight, right? Thursday night. Is Great Bet tomorrow or tonight? I think Great Bet's tonight, right? In Flamborough?
I think so.
Might be tomorrow. And then we also have
Texan Soprano.
Texan Soprano and Yonkers. And Drebin. Collector. So that means that Great Bet's tomorrow.
Great Bet's today.
Oh, he is today.
Yeah.
So we have we still have Great Bet, Texan Soprano, Drebin,
Collector.
and Collector. Oh wow, we got lots of racing left tonight. Anyway, I'm clocking out. I'm done for the day. Got to finish up getting some stuff ready at the other house. Tomorrow is inspection day. I'm going through the whole barn. I want to see everybody's equipment cleaned up. I want to see what it's going to look like so that everybody looks as professional as we can possibly look on Sunday. As of right now, they're now calling for a little bit of rain, possibly, but hopefully that dissipates and leaves the area.
Yeah.
The one thing I've noticed about the Cleveland area, the weather changes almost hourly.
I'm sure.
So, I hope you guys are having a great day. We didn't have a fantastic day yet, but you know what? We kept widespread panic off the list, and we now have a potential. If insider trading had embraced okay, this discussion doesn't take place.
Yeah.
So, just hold your horses before you get too upset. There may be a very good exit strategy waiting right there for us. I'd put Jacob Schaefer on it. Find me who to breed this mare to. See if there's any breedings available, and we have maybe 1, maybe 2 shots at getting it done. That's the plan. That's my plan, I believe. I'm eager to hear back from my partners on this, but for a filly that was worth money, could be worth even more than we thought before right now.
Right.
We'll see. Exit strategies.
Well, that's why you buy them good fillies at the sale anyway.
Exactly why. That option is always there for you, right? We had the bad luck with pull the shoes. She had put a little fracture line in her foot. There's a very good chance that she's in full tactical approach right now. That's a filly instead of a sister to 6-pack. Somebody said to me the other day, oh, 6-pack. I said, yeah, because he had a bad year as a stallion, people forget he made $2 million winning 49. They forgot how good the horse was. So, yes, absolutely. Anyway, take care. I will talk to you all very soon. Maybe an update tonight, depending on how much work I get done. Take care.